Hello everybody and welcome to the Knit and Paws podcast. My name, of course, as always, is Raylene, aka Kimana Knits on Ravelry. You can find show notes for this episode and all the other episodes at knitandpawspodcast.com. That's Knit and Paws Podcast. I am talking very fast this morning-ish. It is June 26th. Excuse me. And it is about 12:30 Mountain Standard. And yeah. It's been 2 weeks. I'm on time. I'm not late. I have a lot of finished objects to show, but not a lot of works in progress because I finished everything. And I haven't cast anything else on. So, I guess we shall get to the knitting. Oh, this is episode 40. 40. Yeah. So yeah, here goes nothing. The first thing that I finished that you have seen before are my Simple Skype socks. I have 2 of them. I do not normally make the cuff that long, but I was originally making them for someone else, and now they are mine because I can and because they fit. So I've done those. I really am not enjoying knitting pattern socks recently. So I don't think you're going to see any pattern socks for a while. If ever again. They just seem to take so long. So those are done. And now I can put them in my drawer. I guess I should tell you more about them. They're the Skip Rib socks. I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel, as I do with all of my heels, basically. This was a knit out of Madeline Tosh sock in the plaid blanket colorway on US size 0. That's 2.0 millimeter needles. They're knit top down. This was the 72 stitch size. It is quite stretchy because it's rib. But, you know, that's just what I decided because I was making them for someone else. And then I tried them on and then they fit me and then I kept them. Decided to keep them. Whatever. So my heels are I need to get bigger sock blockers because none of the socks I knit, even for myself, fit on these medium sock blockers. But you know, I like the metal ones. So there's that. They're done. They're very pretty. I like them. They can come off the blockers now and get put away. These can get put away. Everything can get put away. So, I don't normally even block my socks after I'm finished with them. I usually just wear them. But because these had the patterning, I wanted to show them and make them pretty. So, that's why they were on blockers. Next, I finished my Cloud Illusions shawl, and I might have to back up to show this off. I did this out of Madeline Tosh lace in the Cove colorway on US size 6.0 millimeter needles. I did the large garter stitch body and the large extended lace border. So it's not super deep, but it is super long. I did do a picot bind off. I do not have blocking wires, so that is why the picots are not really blocked very nicely. It is longer than my wingspan by about probably half a foot on either side. So there it is up close. Hopefully you can see that. The picot bind off took me like 3 or 4 hours. Made me so sad. So it is done, and it is very swoopy. You kind of just, I don't know, zhuzh it, I guess. It can be zhuzhed. See, and then they hang down quite a bit, the ends, which is what I wanted. So I wanted a nice big shawl that I can just drape around and hopefully won't mess up too much. The lace is actually, I could never get my stitch counts to work. I think I was messing stuff up early on with my paired increases and decreases because I know I had the right number of stitches going into it. So I kind of fudged the sides like by my cast on here, but it looks fine and nobody will be able to ever tell. So who cares, right? And Madeline Tosh Tosh lace is a discontinued lace base. It's a 2-ply. All I have right now for lace is Prairie. I believe you can still find some of this at Happy Knits I saw, but I have not checked recently, so don't quote me on that. I have quite a bit of it. I actually sold some of it recently, but I have quite a bit and I really like it. I actually have a swatch done out of Tosh Lace Held Double, which I guess I can show and talk about. That would be cool. So that is the Cloud Illusions. It's mine. It's not going anywhere. I'm not giving it away. Too much work. Next is a project that next finished object is a project that you guys have not even seen yet because I finished it in 5 days. Cast it on Sunday, finished it yesterday. It's not a very big finish object, but I don't normally do color work in case you haven't noticed, and it's got color work. So my niece is turning 1 in October, early October, and so I knit her a sweater for her birthday. It's very modified. I used the North Shore pattern by Tin Can Knits as to get my stitch counts, to get the sizing, to get the decreases and increases, like the sleeve increases and the yoke decreases. It's a bottom-up yoked sweater. But I did not do the charts that they have in that pattern. I made up my own chart because I had leftovers from the Vivid blanket I made for her last summer, and I decided to do that in a rainbow kind of gradient yoke. But I couldn't find a DK weight pattern because I'm doing it out of Madeline Tosh Tosh DK in the Victorian Gothic colorway, and then this Tanis Fiber Arts Yellow Label DK in her Rainbow Bright palette. Couldn't find a sweater that had a yoke that I wanted, so I kind of made it up, and it looks okay. My color work, I think, is kind of wonky, and some of the decreases you can see quite a bit. I can't even tell where, I can't tell which side is the front. Which is kind of funny considering my cast on, like where you change the colors for the beginning of the row, was all wonky, but I blocked it and now I can't tell. I think this is the front. So this is the 1 to 2 year size. I just did a simple, I was thinking about doing slip stitches, but I ended up doing actual color work where I alternated one row of, the red and the black down here. And then I did one row straight of red, and then I alternated the red and the orange, and just kind of kept going up and worked through all of them. That's pretty color accurate. It's the yellow and the chartreusey green are quite bright. So that is that. I think it's huge. Personally, I think it's huge. I don't think it's going to fit here until she's probably much older than she is. It'll fit eventually, right? For 1 year, maybe 2. Like, I haven't even measured it. So the 1 to 2 year size, I think is supposed to have a 20-inch chest. Oh, it does. It has a 20-inch chest. Well, that's good. And the length is supposed to be 7 to the armholes, and it's 7.5. It's almost 8. That's fine. Length, she'll grow into length. Sleeves are supposed to be 9 to the, they're 9. Everything's measured right. So I used a bunch of needles for this. The ribbing was all done on US size 4s. The body and the sleeves and the plain black stockinette stuff was done on 5s, and I did the color work on 6s because I assume my color work is tighter than the rest of it. And I think it looks pretty much all the same gauge as far as I can tell. So I'm really, really happy with it. It is not quite dry yet. The side that was sitting up all night is dry. The side that was laying on the towel is not. So there's that. Those are all of my finished objects. It's true, that's all my finished objects. Next is works in progress. Banana leaf shawl, haven't touched it. Oh, I think I did maybe 3 or 4 rows. I didn't even bring it out because it's maybe like that much progress. So that's fun. I did spend some time on my vanilla Into the World Gloucester socks. Excuse me. Whew, I just ate a little while ago, so had lunch and then I record. In flounce. So this is the first sock. Fish Lips Kiss Heel vanilla sock. Shorter cuffy cuff. Very plain and basic. I like how it worked up. I always like how Into the World works up though. I really like it's variegated, but it automatically forms these stripies. All of my Into the World is going to be socks because I love these stripes. It's not self-striping, but it is. And I've started the second one. I'm done the ribbing and I'm working my way down the foot. These are on 0s, of course, because all my socks are. So that's that. I will probably cast something on. I have a lot of yarn around me. I was gonna say my Cloud Illusion shawl it's Madeline Tosh goes by yardage, not weight, because the weight of the skein can differ depending on humidity and etc. So for the Cloud Illusion shawl, this is my leftovers. It's about 200 yards of lace. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, because even if I double it, it's only about 100 yards of fingering or sport. And Madeline Tosh sock is 395 yards, and I had this much left. So it's a decent sized ball. I'll maybe put it, I have a bunch. I'm planning on doing scrappy socks at some point because I have so many sock leftovers. So yeah, I have a bunch of yarn kind of around me. I've pulled out some of my opal that I bought from my local yarn store. I also have, 4 more skeins of this Elspeth Lavold Silky Wool XL in this really pretty purple. It's only about they're 50 gram skeins. There's 104 yards, so I've got like 440 yards or something. Not even. Just over 400 yards. It's an Aran, worsted Aran weight kind of thingy. I am planning on knitting a flax by Tin Can Knits from their Simple collection out of this for my niece, probably the 1 to 2 year size, because I think that'll fit her for a while, if the sizing remains the same between various Tin Can Knits patterns. And I think it's a nice simple top-down raglan with garter stitch detail along the sleeves. I think it'll be really nice in this kind of tweedy yarn. So I might do that next. I also have swatched, when I was working on my Cloud Illusions, I was so tired. Everything, like, after I recorded last time, I hit a very serious patch of knitting ennui. I was so bored of everything I was working on, and I refused to let myself cast on anything else because this Cloud Illusion shawl had been on the needles since March. My banana leaf shawl has been on the needles since October. And I was just, they needed to get done, right? And I obviously was not motivated to get them done. So I did not allow myself to cast on anything until this was done. So then I finished it and I immediately cast on that sweater. But in the meantime, I was flirting with other projects. I really was. I was hardcore flirting with any project that would look at me. So I did a swatch. This is the swatch for Madeline Tosh Tosh lace. It's the Morning Dove colorway, and I held it double, and this was on a US size 4. So this is a swatch in the round. And you can see I did the garter stitch edging flat. And then the first row I do these little yarn over knit 2 togethers, 1 hole for the size of the needle. So this was a size 4 needle. I need to check my stash. I saw not my stash, my queue. I saw a really cute Low Tide. Low Tide is a vesty t-shirt kind of thing. Vesty cardigan, short sleeve, super short sleeve, like just cap sleeves. By Tin Can Knits. It's out of their Pacific Knits book, which I think North Shore was out of too, if I'm not mistaken. So somebody had converted it instead of, like, they had done a Henley style t-shirt. So instead of working it flat, because you do the lace portions up here, and then in the back you do lace, and then you knit back and forth to create the sides in the back. So instead of doing that, she just connected it after the lace and did a t-shirt, and then still put the little buttons up the front, kind of in a Henley style shirt. So that was really cute, and my size takes under 1,400 yards, and I have 3 skeins of this in lace weight. And I think because I'm holding it double, I don't think it'll pool a whole lot. At least this swatch didn't, but it's so... And I really like the fabric it gave. It's really nice. It's lightweight and pretty dense, and I got gauge for the project. I got gauge on size 4s. So I'm going to be knitting that eventually. I stopped myself from casting it on though. I still have my boxy swatch out of Twist Light in Wings. Still have not cast that on either. But you know, I don't know if my Pomme de Pin will get re-knit at some point. It has to. I have to do something with that yarn. But I don't know if it'll be this summer. So that's kind of where that is. Not really feeling it. I think it's kind of killing my... Thinking about it makes me very sad. So we're just going to ignore it and hope it goes away, which it won't. We know it won't go away. Recent purchases, nothing. Nothing's come in, at least. I have 1 skein of Vesper's new merino nylon sock weight coming in. It might be in my mailbox right now. I haven't checked the mail. I have to go out and renew my library card this afternoon, or I'm going to go and do that. So I'll check the mail. Well, maybe I'll have it next time. So I finished a book this last week. I'm really trying to finish books that I have already purchased because I bought them for a reason and I haven't read a lot of them. So the first book that I read and finished was The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski. He's a Swedish author. The book was originally written in Swedish and has been translated. This is the book that inspired the Witcher video game series. It's really interesting. It doesn't really have a beginning, middle, and end. It's split up into 2 kind of parts. The first part is always labeled The Voice of Reason. And then it's The Voice of Reason 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. I don't even know if I can find. Yeah, like The Voice of Reason 2. And then there's, so that kind of follows a storyline, but it doesn't, it kind of has a plot line. But then there's these, I guess they're kind of flashbacks, sections that are named differently. And they're kind of like their own individual short story within the overall kind of arc. But the overall arc is more a framework for these individual stories. It's not really its own thing, but it kind of is. Not a whole lot of time is covered in the overall arc, but you have these sections of stories about Geralt. Whatever. I haven't played the game, so I don't know. So it's really, really interesting. There's a lot of violence, of course. Some political stuff. They were really, really good. I enjoyed it. I would like to play the games at some point. So if you're into kind of fantasy, medieval stuff, check it out. It's a very, very good read. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I would read it again, but I definitely enjoyed it the first time through. See, a book review that didn't take all year. Not that I'm really complaining about the other one, but anyway. The next book I'm reading is a Canadian author. I have not started it yet, but I have it on my nightstand to work on. So yeah, that is about it. Still no fostering, can't afford it right now, because I have to pay a non-refundable pet fee to my landlord, and then my rent increases. So that might be a while. I'm still playing World of Warcraft. Patch 6.2 was just released this week. The new raid, Hellfire Citadel, is so much fun. My guild killed 8 out of 13 bosses this week. They released 13, that's just in normal. But we're learning the mechanics, and then we're going to go into heroic once we finish up normal, which might be next week, but I won't even be raiding next week. Next week, well, I'm raiding Tuesday, but Wednesday, Thursday, I'm heading to my parents on Wednesday. Wednesday up here is Canada Day, and I work Monday to Thursday usually. So Wednesday is a stat holiday, I have the day off. Thursday I am working, or I'm taking the day off, and so I'm driving out to my parents on Wednesday, and then driving back home on Sunday, and spending some time with them, and my niece, and my brother, and sister-in-law, and stuff like that. So that'll be fun. I don't know how much knitting I'll get done, but you know, it is what it is. I also joined the Ravelry Worldwide Shawl Swap again. I've done multiple rounds in the past. I did a couple rounds in a row. I think when I first moved to BC, I did like 3 rounds in a row. They do 2 swaps per year because they're bigger swaps. You do a full-size shawl for your partner, and then a bunch of goodies and stuff. And you have to be able to ship internationally because it's the Worldwide Shawl Swap, you know. So last time I did that Mayapple shawl out of Tosh Lace and Grape. That was ginormous and took over a skein. And I bought another skein for it and didn't even use it because somebody gave me leftovers. Because Ravelry people are awesome. So this time, it's kind of the same round as I did last time. They just finished a round. They do one at the beginning of the year and then the last half of the year. So this is due to be shipped out by the end of November, I think. I'm hoping once again to get it done over the summer. But we'll see. I think my partner this time likes solid shawls. So I might do, there's a couple that I have in mind that I've been wanting to knit. So yeah, I'll sort that out and you'll see it here. And there we go. So that is it for me. I will talk to you in 2 weeks. Hope you're enjoying what you're knitting, and see you soon. Bye.